Good morning, everyone. I am Jack Madrid, and welcome to Industry Beacon, where we feature the titans of technology shaping our future. We're not just talking about success stories, we are diving deep into their hearts and minds to see what drives them, as we decode the future one digital dialogue at a time. Global Capability Centers, or GCCs, are a vital and emerging powerhouse of the IT-BPM sector with over 250,000 Filipino employees. These are fully owned by multinational giants. They are not BPOs, but are hubs of innovation that deliver centralized support for critical functions like technology, finance, HR, and strategic operations. By driving efficiency, scalability, and operational excellence, GCCs reduce duplication across multiple geographies and keep full control in-house, so there is no third-party outsourcing needed. Joining us today is Carlo Mata, the Vice Chairman of the Global In-House Center Council Philippines, or GICC. He is also the Director of Philippine Operations and White & Clay's Global Operations Center Manila, a leading global legal firm based in New York with 650 full-time employees in the Philippines. So Carlo, thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me, Jack.
Let's get right to it. So, White & Case operates globally in America, Europe, the Middle East, and here in Asia Pacific. What has been the experience operating as a GCC, operating internationally in terms of skill sets, job creation, and the ease of doing business? What is the criteria that you follow?
Yeah. Well, so let me go a little backstory a bit. White & Case has over 40 plus offices in 30 plus countries, and the decision to set up an office in the Philippines, in Manila, was really driven by the availability of a highly educated, English-speaking, global mindset talent pool. And so that was 17 years ago.
Wow.
As you mentioned, at the start, it was a footprint of only maybe 20 people doing finance and compliance and new business. Mm-hmm. Since then, 17 years later, we are now, as you mentioned, over 650 people. And we have become a very strategic part of the firm's global operations. And so, what White & Case has seen in the Philippines is it's been impressed by the availability of that talent with the domain knowledge that it really needs. So today we have every major global function that the firm has supporting the legal side. We have finance, we have technology, business intelligence, virtual assistance, practice support. Everything's already done out of Manila. And of course, a big part of that was a little over 2 decades ago, maybe 25 years, the government's efforts to sort of create a better business environment for BPOs and shared services to really flourish.
Sounds like a very positive experience White & Case is having in the Philippines. As a follow-up, Carlo, what edge do you see the Philippines, compared to the rest of the Asia Pacific and the rest of the world, other destinations, as an inherent advantage specifically for GCCs?
Well, majority of the GCCs that operate in the Philippines are English-speaking GCCs, right? And so I think our affinity to the Western culture, you couple that with, as I mentioned, a highly skilled English-speaking, predominantly English-speaking talent pool, I think just gives us that edge. You couple that, you mix that with our cost effectiveness as a nation, and it just creates the right environment for GCCs to grow their organizations, their offices, their footprint in the Philippines.
Our country has seen significant growth, in the number of GCCs. We have well over 100.
Yeah.
companies and 250,000 and growing employees. Now, what other factors, Carlo, do you think continue to make the Philippines an attractive destination for GCCs?
I think as the global business environment or landscape continues to shift, enterprises have this need to tap into a global talent pool, right? And that global talent pool that enterprises need, that possess those deep domain knowledge in finance, in accounting, in cybersecurity, in technology, and even recently in growing technology waves such as AI and all these machine learning and all that. You find that here. You find the domain knowledge existing in the Philippines.
Good to hear that the talent resides here and is available here, especially with our young demographics in the country. Now, you attended the NASSCOM Global Capability Center Conference a few months ago in Bangalore. I wanted you to share with the audience, what were your key takeaways there, and what can we learn from India, right? In being such a GCC hub. They have 1.6 million.
Oh my goodness.
Employees. I think it's 1.9 million employees, generating $65 billion in revenue for India. Now we're number 2, but how can we, how can we replicate that success? What were your takeaways?
My goodness. So what an experience, right? And we have our friends at NASSCOM to thank for being such warm hosts and welcoming us there. So we were there, I think that was last June or July. I was there joined by our executive director in GICC, Christine Bata, and of course our chair, Fen. And we went there to learn, to be exposed. And I think what we saw was, I came in there with fresh eyes, and what we saw was something that really I was blown away by, right? Wow. The scale. I think more than anything, GCCs in the Philippines, we have about 250,000 employees. GCCs in India now are closer to 2 million employees. We have about 150 GCCs here. They have about 1,600.
Right.
1,500, 1,600.
Growing at 100 a year, I heard.
100 a year. Yeah. And so, we have something to aspire for as a nation. And, when we were there, we listened to the journey that the industry in India has gone through. Very similar to our journey. And so we can relate in many ways. And we saw, I think, the key takeaway was, one, the scale at which they have achieved in India. Number 2, the value add that they're going towards already, right? So in many cases, we have 100 plus here in the Philippines, but many of them are relatively new. And so if for those who are not too familiar, when a GCC comes to the Philippines, the number one driver or the first driver would be cost effectiveness, right? Yeah. And so just like us, when we started our journey 17 years ago, it was just 20 people, a small footprint, and you're looking for more on cost efficiencies. And as the cost efficiencies become a no-brainer, what really drives that growth will be domain expertise, right? So, okay, you're cost effective, but can you deliver on the services that we normally do in-house or in onshore, right? And so as the centers prove their capabilities in those areas, in healthcare, in technology, in finance, in HR, it begins to grow. But I think that drives the journey from becoming a service delivery center to becoming a global business service center or a GBS, where now you're no longer just looking to deliver service, but now you begin to own certain services, right? Certain processes. And so in a global shared service, you don't really own the process.
Correct.
You own the delivery, but you don't own the architecture of it.
Correct.
The GBSs own the architecture and make decisions. What I saw in India was not only have they moved from the first phase into the GBS phase, but they've also moved onto the phase of what they call global nerve centers, where innovation now begins to sit in the offices in their India site. And that was truly inspiring for us, the Philippines, to see and say, if they can do it, we certainly can as well.
That's a fascinating evolution, no? From cost center to global business service. And that sounds like it's on its way to become a revenue center.
Yeah.
Where global HQs can actually reside outside where the parent company is.
Right.
We're going to talk about domain skills and talent later on in the interview, Carlo. But right now, we're going to have to take a quick break. Industry Beacon will be right back.
Magandang gabi, ako si Corina Sanchez Rojas.
Magandang gabi, ako po si Pinky Webb.
Simulan na natin ang agenda.
Nasa radyo na, mapapanood, mapapakinggan.
94.7 FM.
Nahaharap ngayon ang Estados Unidos sa isa na namang 4 na taong Trump presidency.
Death squad rin yan. Binawi niya yung sinabi niya.
Ing masalimuot ang buwan ng Oktubre para sa ilang bilyonaryo.
Sa bawat issue may anggulo at ang balita may agenda.
Hello and welcome to Follow the Money. I'm Rain Musngi. Join us as we explore the tools and insights you need to jumpstart your financial journey. The crypto market climbed over $800 billion. Tech giant Alibaba has announced plans to issue notes. Investors are anticipating a significant downward move for the cryptocurrency. Swift is adding a new chapter to her record-breaking year.
Follow the Money, 10:30 a.m.
Keep it here on BNC, the Bilyonaryo News Channel. Always on top.
Good morning, everyone! Wait for the
Join Paulo Del Rosario
Cannot wait to celebrate Christmas with all of you.
and Asis Carilo
Choose joy, spread kindness, and pack your own sunshine.
and Monique Tuzon.
We hope you all have a great day ahead. Let's get the high energy started to make this hump day unforgettable. Only here on It's a Beautiful Day.
This is the Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas.
And I'm Erica Christensen.
Max Verstappen emerged victorious in the chaotic Qatar Grand Prix.
Now that we're here, we're in the finals, I really want to win a championship. I mean, I do hope it happens.
I was just happy to be back on the court. You know, it took a while. Eventually, I do want to go back again, probably my farewell competition.
The Scorecard, where sports is our business.
And business is our sports on the Bilyonaryo News Channel.
And we're back. You're still watching Industry Beacon here on BNC. And still with us is Carlo Mata, the Vice Chairman of the Global In-House Center Council Philippines, or GICC. Also the Director of Philippine Operations at White & Case in Manila. So Carlo, picking up on our last point, as we look ahead, how do you think emerging technologies or industry trends, new work types such as AI, will shape the future growth of GCCs here in the Philippines?
Very interesting question. I think that is a subject that we're all doing our best to understand better, to grapple, and more than just grapple, to shape as well, right, and to influence. And if done right, I think those emerging technologies can in fact be the next wave of growth for GCCs. You talk about AI, you talk about, as technology increases, obviously the risk on cybersecurity increases as well,
Yes.
right? And so along with AI, you have your machine learning, you have your cybersecurity and all these things. And I think if we do this right, if we play it right, these technologies, instead of just us thinking of how can they help us improve the work that we do, which obviously we always think about from an operational standpoint, how do these new technologies, in fact, drive the next wave of talent that will be part of the GCCs? Because service delivery, we do well, right?
Yes.
And as technologies come in, they make us more efficient. They're supposed to make us more efficient. And so when we have these skills that we deliver, soon they become passive expectations of our enterprises, right? It's no longer a wow factor. It becomes part of the expectation. Yeah. And so I think for the GCCs in the country, how we leverage these technologies so that we play a bigger role in shaping and driving the global digital transformation of our enterprises, so that we're not just cost-effective centers, we're innovation hubs. Technology will allow us to play that role better.
Technology to augment Filipino professional.
Right.
And it really sounds like it will continue to grow on the bedrock of the talent, the domain skills that our workforce possesses. Now, so looking ahead, what kind of future skills, Carlo, do you see will position the Philippines to continue to grow as a GCC hub? What are some of the domain skills that you see in the years ahead?
Yeah. So I think in terms of the skills that we already have, those will continue to grow. That's one, right? So the foundational domain skills, where we're seeing here software development, it's already here. Even gaming development is here. We have cybersecurity, network security. Other forms of technology are already here. Coding. There's the quality aspect of software, where you test first the quality of it before you release, right, to the rest of the enterprise. The finance and all these things, HR, I think we are far from saturation point. So if you look at the studies done by organizations such as McKinsey or Everest, there's a forecast that by 2028, we will double the number of GCCs that we have today. So we will be closer to 400. And a lot of that will be the bedrock of the foundational domain skills we already have existing today. We've got to get that right and continue to get that right and deliver for us to to have the right to play, to stay in the game. Once that becomes settled, I think, as we said, the technology aspect of it, it's not so much, Jack, new skills, like AI-related skills, because I think at the rate of change that we have, even the skills that we know today that are AI-related or the development of AI, I think 5 years from now will be very different, right?
Yes.
Will be drastically different. I think the core competency, we have to go to the core competency of it. Do we have the ability to reshape, to relearn, to retool ourselves as technology changes the landscape of the business for us? I think that will determine how well we leverage off technology. And so having the infrastructure to retool and to reskill and to relearn, I think, more than having a crystal ball to determine which exact skills, although directionally we know AI will really be the thing of the future, it's already shaping everything now, right?
So it does sound like continued investment in the upskilling, reskilling, right skilling of talent will be probably the most important investment of GCCs to continue growth here in our country.
Yeah.
It made me very happy when Jamie Dimon, the big boss of JP Morgan, when he visited Manila, proudly said that the Philippines was the third largest hub for JP Morgan in the world, second only to the US and India.
Right.
And so, I think the IT-BPM industry, as promising as it is, will really rest on the skills of Filipinos, no? And that will be some of the main skills that you mentioned. Healthcare is another one, by the way, but certainly finance, banking, financial services, as you said, far from saturated. So this will continue to be a growth area for the IT-BPM industry. And I think GCCs have this advantage, talking about talent retention now. I think you sit at the top of the work hierarchy, in terms of overall prestige. I'm sure you have lower attrition than the rest of the IT-BPM industry.
Right.
Probably 10% or even less, right? So, I think there's really a bright future for GCCs.
I agree. I agree.
That is it, though, for today's show. I am Jack Madrid. Thank you so much to our valued guest, Carlo Mata, for sharing your perspectives with us. Catch us again tomorrow for more enlightening discussions on Industry Beacon. You can catch BNC on Free TV Channel 31 and on Signal Channel 24. Thank you for watching BNC, the Bilyonaryo news channel, always on top.